Everyone, this is DJ Fist with Liege of Cookies. I'm here with King Fowley of Deceased. How are you, King?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. Been a rough week. We went through some stuff. I don't know if you know or do know. Our drummer passed away earlier this week.
Right,
he was visiting. Yeah, he was visiting in El Salvador with his family, and he went out in the ocean with his brother, and one of those damn riptides grabbed him, and they tried to save him, and he was caught up in it. And by the time it was said and done, he had passed away. So it's been a real trying week. A lot, it's crazy because we just got the new record done finally after a couple of, 7 years in the getting it all together stage, and momentum was starting to go to our side a little bit. We were just ready to start rolling here, and things like this happen. But hanging in, man. Unfortunately, tragedy. I've had it in my past too, so it's.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a little almost commonplace at times, and it stinks. But I'm hanging in.
Yeah, my apologies for that. I know it's been really rough losing a good friend. I'm sure he's like family as well.
Absolutely, one of my best friends in the world, man.
Yeah. So, well, you kind of already touched on the next question. Why did it take so long for Ghostly White to come out? I know you were working on it a few years back, and I don't know the whole story of that. Maybe you had a record deal in place or something, and it fell through. I don't know what the deal was.
Oh, no. We've been okay we've been lucky on record deals over the years.
Oh, okay.
We've been signed to Hell's Headbangers for a few years, and, they were ready to do this all the way back when we finished the last Surreal Overdose in 2011. Being older guys, just basically life, work, just everything that comes with life. Our main guitar player that doesn't play live anymore, but he's still the major songwriter for the riffs, Mike Smith. He has a big time government job, and he's overseas a lot. He spent a lot of the last, I would say, 3 to 4 years overseas, and I'm talking in like 6 month intervals where he'd just be overseas. And we just kind of, we've always been this kind of band where we don't put out what I call rent records, meaning we don't just throw fucking 8 new songs together and go, here's our new record. We want every song to be as good as it can be. We want every album to have its own personality. We want it to be 110% Deceased and 110%, basically it just is where we are in our lives right now. And with this record, we had to pace ourselves. We had to, we write stuff here and there, practice it, get up here, get 2 or 3 songs going. Then we have to get some time together and write some more stuff. And it just took that long, basically.
It's a long process, yeah, I know. Especially when you get older and you have kids and jobs and other responsibilities.
You know how life is. You got your mortgages, you got your rent, you got your kids, you got your wife, you got your, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, when you're 18, 20, it's no problem. You can dedicate 24/7 to that. But I miss those days in a sense sometimes, but sometimes yes, sometimes no. But
right, I agree.
The question that I was told to ask you was, what was your favorite band growing up? I know it's hard to pick just one probably, but.
Well, growing up at different times in my life, as a kid, my favorite band was Kiss. I mean, when I was like between the ages of 8 and 12, 13, it was Kiss.
Yeah.
Then it was Black Sabbath for the next few years, and then it became Voivod as far as my underground heroes and all that stuff. But if I was to choose an all-time favorite band, it wouldn't be any of those bands. It would be Iron Maiden.
Oh, cool.
Iron Maiden is a band to me that I've loved. I've loved them since day one. Pretty much every album, the Blaze years, all of it. I respect the hell out of them for never losing their way. My idol in music is Steve Harris. I think he's always done things his way. Never caved into the industry. And here they are in 2018, as popular as ever, just getting ready to go here in 19 and do another tour, and just, they did it their way. They never, they just went out and played, and they did it, did it the right way. I guess I keep repeating myself, so I guess that's what I would say. Iron Maiden is my all-time band. Growing up, I would say it was a combination. It was Kiss, it was Sabbath, it was Voivod, it was, and at the end of it all, it's Iron Maiden.
Yeah, are they a band? I've tried to think of this myself. What's a band, a long-standing band that hasn't put out a bad album? I can't think of any. Would you put Iron Maiden in that category?
Yeah, I guess it would be Iron Maiden, though. There's a few. I'm not, there's definitely albums better than other ones. I mean, it's probably the low point for me would have been the Virtual X1. I really like the X Factor with Blaze, the first one, which a lot of people lost him on that. And yes, Bruce Dickinson should be the singer, and did his own things, and we had that time, but I love that one. But Virtual X1 was very much down the list of favorites. It was hit or miss for me. The Angel and the Gambler, I don't know if you know that album, but that was a really bad track they chose on that one. that era for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would still play the record. I could still continue to play the record.
Yeah.
While Kiss went on to do a bunch of crappy, shitty albums for me. I basically go Lick It Up back for me. I'm okay with. That only goes to like 83. And Sabbath, I pretty much like all the eras of them. The only one that I don't like at all is 13, the one they did with Ozzy a few years ago. And, you know, I've grown up with all of it. Ozzy, Dio, you know, Ian Gillan, you know, the Tony Martin stuff. Even the Seven Star I love so much with Len Hughes on vocals. But 13 is horrific. I have a saying, it's not even allowed in my house.
Actually, my favorite Black Sabbath album is The Eternal Idol. There's something about it.
It's a great one. I love it. It's fucking right there with you, buddy.
It's not it's not Ozzy, classic Ozzy, Sabbath.
Oh, The Shining. What a
something about that album is it just I can listen to it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Shining, Ancient Warrior, the title track. I love the title track on that.
Yeah, that's and another band that my favorite band's not a metal band. I know you like them too. Is Kansas.
I love Kansas. Yeah.
What's your favorite?
The most talented band of all time.
Yeah, and they're still going. They're coming down the town here. I'm hoping to see them there. But
I wish you would. I hope you get to see them.
What's besides their hits? I know I can tell you what my favorite song of theirs is. Like a deep cut from them, if you can think of any.
I'm a big for them. What is something I love deeper down the line from them? I mean, I love stuff like the Mysteries of Mayhem. I love the Spider. I love some of the jammy stuff.
Yeah.
What else would I go with? I like Relentless from the audiovisual album, which was later on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tunes for me. There's a lot. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Song for America. I know that's kind of a quote-unquote hit, but it's not something to play on the radio.
Yeah, you're not going to hear that on the radio.
That's a big one. I really like that. I think one of the most underappreciated records by them is Mask. I think that's a fantastic record.
Yeah, it is. My favorite is from Song for America. The last song is called In Kamudru Hymn to the Atman. It's like a 12-minute song and has really cool keyboard, organ, jam, solos and stuff. That's the one
that's a good one.
I like.
Another one I love by them is Lamplight Symphony. The closer. Oh man, that one. You got a ghost story there. It goes perfect with our new record.
That's true. What's the lyrical themes on the Ghostly White? I've heard it, but me personally, I don't dig into the lyrics too much unless I listen to an album a bunch, and I haven't listened to it a few times. But
it's basically. I mean, track by track, Mrs. Allardyce is based on a movie called Burnt Offerings, which is a story about this force of this mother that runs this house and kind of her powers. And as they start to fade, they have to find new families and new energy from the souls of people to keep the house and the spirit of the family alive. The Germ of Distorted Lore, the long song, that's basically based on these fables and tales of everything from Bigfoot to the guys with the hook hands and how these stories are watered down over time, and the real intensity of it is, I basically call it the boogeyman. These boogeymen out there are really just human beings. These stories of the hooked hand and the lover's lane and all that kind of shit. And basically somewhere down the line, there's a truth to it, which basically there's nut jobs out there, or there's people that kill their family or kill their kids and bury them and shit like that. And that those stories get watered down to almost black humor-ish type ways, so that it would kind of make it seem less intense. It's just a way of humans dealing with this. They just dumb it down, and in reality, it's intense, it's sharp, it's ugly how humans can treat other humans, especially like family and children and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I call it the Germ of Distorted Lore. It's like the twisted tale.
Okay.
There's other tales on. There's a song on there about the movie Black Christmas, which is based on a stalker in a house, and a nut that's basically stalking these sorority girls. I wanted to do something like that. We have Pale Surroundings, which is about a ghost story based on a movie called Let's Scare Jessica to Death, where this girl's kind of doesn't know if she's going insane or really is being messed with by a haunting force. Mm-hmm. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there. There's a song, Endless Well, based on drug addiction of today, how the world right now, we're seeing so many people just dropping dead and ODing and stuff, and just the times when they're very ugly.
Yeah.
It's a very dark and, I guess you'd say, depressing album.
Well, yeah, okay. I know you're you're a big horror movie fan. I saw your post from today or the other day about the new Halloween movie being garbage, and of course that Nun movie being crappy. Do you know of any good modern horror movies you can recommend? Like what's been put out recently that's good?
Well, this year the best movie of the year, far and away, one of the most dark, eerie, freaked out movies I've seen in quite some time was Hereditary. I thought that was a fabulous movie. I loved it. I loved the off-kilterness of the movie. The rhythm was odd to it. Just the whole tale was just so mind-blowing. There's been movies over the last 10 or so years. Poughkeepsie Tapes, which is like kind of a serial killer type of film. What else? Lake Mungo, which was a mockumentary on a girl that died. There's a kind of a back ghost story to that I loved. What else is there? Lovely Molly was another one I liked about just a girl that's really messed up in the mind. They're out there. I mean, there's good movies coming out all the time. I see them all. I watch them all. And I think a lot of today's movies are way better than people give them credit for. And, I just think, I've seen my share of 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, et cetera, films. And, in every area you're going to get your good, your bad, and your ugly. Nowadays it's just easier to produce them and get them out there. So you're going to find a lot more shit or a lot more cheap budgeted stuff because it's so easy to make your own movie. We could probably have a movie on our phones here in the next half an hour if we wanted to. That's how easy it is. You know what I'm saying? So you get behind stuff like that. Back in the day, you had to put a lot of stuff into it. It cost a lot of money for films and cameras and all that kind of shit. But as technology goes on, it is what it is. But I still love watching horror movies. I try to watch one or two every day, man.
Yeah,
if I can.
I love horror movies too. Horror movies and kung fu movies.
Right on.
I don't know if you're into kung fu movies, but I love them as well.
Not that much, but I used to watch a thing when I was growing up in D.C. called Kung Fu Theater. And they had some fun ones on there, with the dubbed in voices were all thrown off and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
One I really liked. I don't think it's probably it's more of a fun movie. One I saw a few times. I believe it was called Lucky 7. Are you familiar with that?
Lucky 7. No, I know there's a
Lucky 7. It was about these kids, and they knew karate. And they were trying to these people were after them. It was more of an oddball. I don't want to say it was a comedy, as it wasn't. But it was just some kind of like over the top kind of thing. It was from the 80s. It was fun. I always liked it. Of course, people like that doesn't count, but that's like I said. I don't know a lot about it, but that's one I always liked that was basically karate based.
Yeah, I grew up watching those. Staying up late or staying up on Saturday afternoon or Saturday night real late. They would show them on public TV like back in the day and 2 a.m. So
yeah, they were always on. You're right, man.
And the dubbing is so bad. I just watched. To be honest, I watched the bad ones just for the bad dialogue, the way it's dubbed in English.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
A lot of chuckles out of those movies. A lot of intentional chuckles.
Yeah, there's a real horrible. Well, it's so bad, it's good. It's one called Kung Fu Zombie, if you ever want to check it out. It looks like it was made for like $500, and it's just way over the top and involves the supernatural and a vampire and the undead. Fugai bring people back to dead to fight his master and stuff like that. It's really oddball. And you might like it.
I'll take a look into it, brother.
Say, what the hell is this movie Peter's recommended to me? This is terrible. But if you remember, check it out and let me know. I'd like to see your opinion.
Right on.
I got some questions from Jay. He asked about the Michigan Death Fest, and is that when you first met Metal Mom at the station?
It is when I first met Metal Mom, I believe. Sandy, she was good people. Michigan Death Festival was fun. That was when we found out how much rock stars Morbid Angel wanted to be.
Oh yeah,
when all that shit went down, and it was crazy shit. But it was a blast. I had a great time. It was a fun weekend. I remember hanging out with Nuclear Death and Fatal and some other bands. Actually, we hung out with Petey too from Morbid Angel. He was really cool. He kind of seemed like he was distant from the other guys at the time. And Richard Burdell was in there from Morbid Angel. He was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird times. It was early on for us. We definitely had a blast. It was in that hockey arena. I remember that. I remember the religious people outside pestering everybody and interviewing everybody, and we all went up there and the newsreel and all that kind of shit to it. But it was definitely a great great memory in my mind. And Metal Mom, she's super cool always.
Yeah, I remember seeing video footage of it back in the day from the local TV stations and how their religious groups were trying to ban it, because it's a death fest. It's horrible.
Yeah, they were trying to give me shit, calling out satanic with the seeds, and I basically told them to eat a dick. You know, I was like, well.
That's funny. But how about your book? I meant to ask you about that when I saw you down here. How's your autobiography, Stay Ugly, been selling? And
the book sold out. We did. I don't even remember how many hundreds of copies we did, but it sold out. Yeah. I had a good time writing the book. I had a good time talking to people about the book after the fact. Most people took to it. They really enjoyed it. Tried to make a life lesson in there, or just a lesson of life more so. Told the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between in the book. I really enjoyed it. It served its purpose. It's been out of print for quite a little while. Maybe I'll put it back in print here at some point. Just so much going on, getting the new record done and stuff. It's kind of took a second place, third place down the line of things to do. But I definitely enjoyed doing it. It taught me a lot, and I was pretty proud of how it came out.
Yeah, I would definitely. So it's probably something to look at maybe during the future to get it reprinted, because I'd rather buy it directly from.
There actually has been talk about maybe possibly audio book of it. My buddy from Blood Feast, the guitar player CJ, he was offering to go to his studio. He's like, I'll do it for you for nothing, man. You want to come in and read your book on audio? I was thinking about it. And then the guy Mike that helped me do the book, his company, they were talking about maybe putting it out on digital too. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, that'd be good, because I like to read it as well, but I'd rather buy it directly from you instead of going on eBay or something and buy it.
Right, I appreciate that, man. If when it comes back in print at some point, I'm sure it will. I'll let you know. I'll remember you in the loop.
Yeah, I know. I think Jay has it, but I don't have it. So,
right on.
So, what are your immediate plans for? I'm sure the loss of David threw a wrench into things. If you had some tour plans or
we had 2 more shows this year. We were gonna do a record release show on the 30th this month in DC, and we were gonna play some of the new songs on the new record and some other stuff. And then the next day we were gonna go play the whole Fearless Undead Machines album in New York. And we were just getting ready to go over all that stuff here. Actually, it would have been yesterday. We were supposed to go over all that stuff this weekend, and I was going to drive down. We were going to go over the sets and stuff, and that was going to be it for the year as far as live stuff. We're going to go hibernate for a month, get through Christmas and New Year's, and then basically sometime in January regroup, and then we were going to plan out next year. We already got some shows for next year that were booked a few months ago. Like we're doing this Decibel Fest in Philadelphia with like Ex-Hoarder and Enslaved and Obituary and some other bands. So we were booked for that, and we're also playing the Milwaukee, New York NYDM thing that Randy Castor puts on all the time in Milwaukee, and he's already bought the airline tickets and everything for us for that. And now we obviously have no drummer, so we have to regroup. We're gonna start thinking it through, searching it out, see what we want to do. It's going to be a hard thing to replace Dave on drums. A real hard thing, because we don't bullshit. We're a straight shooting bunch of guys. We don't fuck around. We're not drug heads. We're not alcoholics. We're not fuck ups. Yeah. We're musicians. That's what we like to do, and we got to find somebody that can attempt to do what we do as well, because it's oddball shit.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
So that's where we kind of are now. I'm kind of brainstorming and stuff, and we're still like I said earlier, we're all still. We're a little off kilter from all this, man. We're totally freaked out by it all.
Yeah. Just take your time, enjoy your holidays, and worry about that. I guess things will work out. They always work out.
Right. We're hoping so. We've been, we've always found a way to get through things, and we're all brothers in this and a family, like you said earlier, and that's important. And we want to give some respect, a little bit of time for, the wounds to heal a little bit. And then, Dave would tell us, get your fucking ass going, man. Keep on rocking. Go.
What are you doing? Get out there. Come on.
Yeah, you got it. That's, that means the world to me. It's a shame, because Dave did so much for the band. He's a great drummer. He was a great friend. And, like I said, we got some momentum going, and we're getting some good, people saying some good things about the record, which, we don't care about the press either way. But, I always wanted him to know he was the guy, because he took over from playing drums for me. And, he's been the drummer for quite a few years here again. And, I just love the guys playing, man. I felt confident when I was up there on stage, screaming that the guy behind me was going to be playing the shit right all the time. And he was.
Yeah. It's hard to find somebody who can do all.
There's not that many really, really good drummers out there, and if they do, a lot of them aren't really that. I mean, you're asking somebody to think really quick at our changes. You're talking about playing super fast at parts, playing super awkward at other parts, you know, and just kind of like go with what we do. And it's not, you can't just say, hey, can you play Slayer? That's not what it is. It's a lot more to it than something like that.
Can you just do blast beats and, okay, here it. No, you can't do that.
Right, it's a lot to it. I mean, and then is the guy an alcoholic? Is the guy drunk? Is he reliable? Is he a bullshitter? Is he a liar? Is he whatever? Is he a crook? Blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot to it, but we're definitely, we're on it. Let's put it that way. We're on it.
Yeah. I always found that finding bandmates is like trying to find a girlfriend or a wife. You got to find the right one.
You're exactly right, buddy. I couldn't put it in a better way than that, man.
That's what I always think. So that's why I don't do it anymore, and I don't have the time for it anyway. But about I want to ask about. I know you have a lot of collectibles and memorabilia. What do you think is your strangest piece of memorabilia you have?
I don't know. I got some bizarre shit.
I know you got so much. You got probably stuff in storage.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's all neat to me. I mean, some of it's obviously more unique than other thing. We've got like posters of albums or tapestries or scarves or, carnival mirrors or anything like that. The bunch. I'm trying to think. I got like one of the bricks from the Blair Witch House before they tore that down.
That's cool.
That's kind of bizarre. I was looking at that just now. I'm trying to think. I don't really know. I got Kiss Pinball Machine. I got,
what's
that awkward to me? Nothing really seems that awkward to me.
I was asked to tell you, what's your high score on your Kiss Pinball Machine?
I wish I knew. I haven't played that damn thing in years. It's actually been down for quite a few years. I haven't even played it so long. I probably haven't played the Kiss Pinball Machine in 15 years, man.
Oh, wow.
I also got a Charlie's Angels in here, too, with me. The Cheryl Ladd era.
Wow, you must have a big house. I don't have room for any of that stuff. I live in
dude, it's not that big of a house, man. It's pretty fucking like it's over. Some people come in this room and they feel like it's eating them alive.
That's funny. What's the first 8-track cassette you got? And what's the strangest one you have? Or what's one you would be?
I have one. One I have that's pretty funny. I think they used to sell it to truckers on the road. It's just girls like orgasming on the 8-track. It's like it's basically just girls moaning and whatever they're doing, orgasming, coming, whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. It's like some sex 8-track, and that's pretty funny. My buddy had it. I was like, he's like, give me $1 for it, man. I had it. I played it once. I laughed. It's somewhere in the closet at this point. First 8-track I remember ever getting, I would say the first one I remember having was probably the Wild, the Willing, and the Innocent from the UFO, and that was I got that about 70, I guess in 78, 79. Well, then I'm going to come out maybe a little later. Maybe that's not the first. That's one of the first ones I remember getting. I think I had ones before that. I definitely had Van Halen 1, was one of my first ones getting on 8-track back in the day, and some Kiss ones. Of course, I think Kiss Live 2. I think I had that, maybe Destroyer and Rock 'Em All Over. But yeah, I used to collect. The reason I got into 8-track collecting when I was a kid was a lot of times the 8-tracks were kind of on the way out, or they were just like, not that popular anymore. Yeah. So you could buy the record would be like $10. You could buy the cassette would be like $8, but the 8-tracks were usually like $3.88, $2.88, just really cheap. And then Woolworths. I don't know how old you are, but Woolworths, which was the drug dime store, whatever you want to call it, the mall. You could go in the one section, it was a little pet section, right behind it was all these 8-tracks in there. And they were always 88 cents, always. And you could I found UFO in there, and that's why I got into Jethro Tull and Nectar and fucking just anything that looked rock related. I'd buy it back then. Rabbit, I remember getting Rabbit, this band WRABIT. They were a band back then. Just shit you could find in there, and you just buy it and you take a chance on it because you couldn't take chances back then. There wasn't a lot of places to I didn't know of a lot of places when I was a kid, you're talking like a 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid to go used record shopping and things. So I'd have to go in the store whenever they had it, Montgomery Ward's or there or Corvettes were the ones I went to growing up, or that's what I had to choose from.
Yeah. I remember doing that as well, just going into a record store like a Sam Goody or something and this album was cool when you buy it, and then go home and, man, this sucks. But other times, like, wow.
Yeah, you're limited. It's only what they put in the store, It's like when I started finding out about the record stores, just that specialize in this stuff. They weren't just department stores with a record section in it. You get in there, and that's when I started discovering my Demon Flights and my Warlords and my Bitch and, the Metal Blade catalog and Metal Massacre and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I remember I picked up the album Sacrifice, Torment, and Fire. That album was like, oh, this album cover is really cool, and I put it in. It's like, wow, this is pretty awesome. It's like we used to headbang to that.
I like their demo even better, but man, that's a fucking great record. That's the only one I really like. I'm not so much. A lot of people like Forward Determination. The second one, I don't like it so much, but the first one, I love it, man. It's savage as shit.
Yeah, it's raw. They sound raw and hungry, and the other ones are good, but that first one is just.
Yeah, those guys were at the Michigan Death Fest too.
Has that magic to it. What other? I know you always recommend older bands. What are some older bands that maybe a lot of people don't know that you would recommend checking out?
Off the wall, like things I've been checking out lately myself. I've been like on a kick. I've been listening to this band called Dynamite, which I guess is Dynamite. They were a Hungarian band, and they were like from the late 70s, and they're kind of weird. They're kind of like the 70s Scorpions with little hints of. You can hear everything in there from Deep Purple to Uriah Heep. You also hear probably maybe even a little bit of like the 70s Kiss style in there. They're really cool. I've been jamming them a lot. I've been in them for years, but lately I've been going back to them. And a band called Gift, who did a couple albums in the early 70s, and they're kind of like proggy. Like a lot of that early 70s is a lot of keyboards and guitar jams, for stuff like that. For unique like 80s bands of metal that were back in the day that didn't really get their break, I would say stuff like Witch. The X's On EP, that was a fucking fantastic record. That's something I always love. Just throw something out there that's off the cuff a little bit. A lot of these bands are discovered now because of Google and, everybody talks about it in Facebook. We're always trying to look, show each other what's going on. You start throwing out things that 10 years ago, nobody would have known what a Brain Fever was or a Wildfire, bands like that. And now it's like, it's people's playlists. And because, that's kind of was a thing for a while. I'm sure you followed it too. Like everybody was looking for the most obscure or like just the most quote unquote cult shit of the of the era and throw it out there and and all of a sudden the Surf and Gold selling out places and people were actually going to raving concerts. They're not like like just forgotten bands like they were in like the 90s and the early 2000s in America.
Yeah, like the band Anvil, they made that documentary movie about themselves.
Yeah, I mean they were forgotten and never
revived their career.
I was just talking to a buddy of mine, Patrick, a couple of days ago about that. It's like, it was so weird. They made a movie, so they're opening for AC/DC to 90,000 seat stadiums. And I'm thinking back when I was a kid and first heard, the first two records, and just, nobody knew who they were. They just weren't popular, It was weird.
Yeah, I can't. You remember the place where you played down here, the Brass Mug?
Absolutely.
And I just found out, about a month ago that Saxon is going to be playing there. That place is going to be packed.
Wow, that's awesome.
Saxon's going to be playing there. It's really that. I know they're not a huge band, but Brass Mug isn't really a big place, so I know.
No, it's not, but that's cool. Good. I love the Brass Mug was great, man, dude. I love the stage there. We had a blast. And good times, man.
When Obituary plays there, that's always packed. And they're the local Tampa guys, so they play there quite often. Whenever it's always
sure. Yeah, the lady, I forget the lady that runs the place, but she was really cool. And the staff was really cool. We came there that night. Everybody looked out for us, man. It was a really good night.
Yeah.
You guys run late there, man. That thing goes late into the night, man.
Oh, yeah. That Brass Mug's been around here ever since before I moved here. It's been here, and I think maybe Nirvana played there one time. I don't know.
Wow.
Back in the day, so. All right. Well, I'll let you go back to your stuff, and I look forward to it.
That's cool, dude. I appreciate you giving the fucking the support. Dude, let me know when this is out and where it's going to go and everything. Send me over links, whatever the hell I need to know with all this. And I wish you happy holidays, man, and keep touch. And I'll let you know when the book's back in press.
Definitely will. All right.
Take care of yourself.
Take care. Happy holidays.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
You too, man.
All right.
Okay,
bye.
Bye-bye.